Mark, come to you now, and just take a step back to take a broad view of the Indian markets. They haven't been doing well post the Union budget. However, there's much anticipation that the RBI, the central bank, will cut rates going forward. What's your view on India after these recent developments and what may come by in the near term?
Well, recent measures by the current government have been very negative for investors. Their efforts to institute a retroactive tax is very, very unsettling and will scare away a lot of investment going forward. The government has to really think very, very carefully about these measures, because any investor will not want to invest in a country where the government decides one day that they will retroactively go back a few years and start taxing on what has already been passed.
Mark, are you also concerned on the tax policies that Shankar highlighted in the guard provision proposed by the Indian Finance Minister recently?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, the tax policy is at the uppermost of our minds because retroactive taxes are something that investors abhor, and it's a big, big mistake for the government to institute such a tax.
Right. What about inflation expectations in the U.S.? And Mark, I'll come to you for that. They have, of course, been creeping up. Does that concern you?
Well, rightly so, because inflation is definitely around the corner, unless there's a big change in the attitude of governments, not only the U.S., but governments around the world, to loosen government regulation and loosen the bureaucracy that businesses have to contend with. Because if you have a big increase in money supply, inevitably you will have an increase in inflation. The only way you can control inflation is by increasing productivity. The way to increase productivity is by reducing the burden of government intervention, government regulation, and taxation on businesses.
EMs, of course, have been down about 6% this year. Do you see that as an opportunity to buy? And what's the forecast for the remainder of the year?
It's always an opportunity to buy emerging markets. We always say the best time to invest is when you have money, because equities will inevitably adjust for inflation, and emerging markets equities are particularly attractive because of their higher growth.